Hey everyone, my name is David Dunbar, or the Theme Park Evangelist, and that is my brother's cat behind me because it just really wants my attention and it really likes the birds at the window. But that's not important. The reason why I'm doing a YouTube video at this hour, it's actually early this morning, and surprisingly, I got ready quickly. So, funny story is, my parents accidentally woke me up early this morning, under the impression I had to be at work early, but I don't actually have to be at work till 10:30 this morning. So I couldn't get back to sleep, and I've been up since about 7:15, 7:30 a.m., somewhere around there. And um, I was just like, oh, I can't go back to sleep at this point. I actually got a lot of sleep last night, but that's besides the point. And I was just like, well, I'll just lay here for now. And then I eventually got up and slowly but surely started getting ready. So I think it still took me an hour and a half, but I just happened to be done a lot quicker than I expected. So I technically don't have to leave until at least 9:30, 9:45, but I'm still leaving at 9:30 regardless. Everything is ready to go. I just have to make sure that I finish YouTubing before 9:30 so I can put my stuff back in my room and head downstairs, grab my lunchbox and my phone, which is still charging, and then head out the door. I was thankfully able to get up early enough as well to make sure my phone got enough charge before I headed to work this morning. I'm actually training as a cashier at the guest services desk. I am beyond excited right now because this is something I've been waiting for years, to finally work at the guest services desk, whether it was at Publix or at Meijer. It's something I've been wanting to do for a long time. I wouldn't say 10 years, but let's just say close enough. So finally the opportunity has allowed itself, and here I am, 28 and a half, and I'm finally going to do it. Also, I'm excited because July is going to be a much better month this year versus last year. Without saying too much information, let's just say that the 4th of July last year wasn't exactly so bright and whatnot for me at all. The viewing area that I had was from the family room of my house at the time, and unfortunately my house ended up becoming my prison for about 3 weeks, if that says anything. So use your imagination. I think you know exactly what I'm getting at. But I've also had stuff put into my body ever since then, and I actually just got another one literally the other day. So yeah, I wouldn't say I'm exactly a supporter of it, but I have been doing it just to make my mom's side of the family happy. And they claim that it's going to protect my grandmother if I want to go see her. Plus, I've had not just that disease, but I also had the newest one that went around in December, too. I'm very sure about it. Except that I caught that long before I went to Canada for Christmas. So, my body at that point would have built up the immunity. But first, before I get into today's topic, let's go over some cool announcements. Just a couple of them. First of all, this Saturday, as of right now, I'm planning on going to Georgetown, and then I'm going to carpool with Caitlin down to Richmond, which is about halfway across the state. We're going to go into Buc-ee's. There is a brand new Buc-ee's here in Kentucky, the very first one to ever open in Kentucky, as exciting as that is. And I've never been to Buc-ee's in my life, and I've never YouTubed at Buc-ee's before, so I figured it would be a win-win-win kind of situation. to go YouTube the very first Buc-ee's that ever opened here in Kentucky and put it on my YouTube channel, to go see a Buc-ee's for the very first time, and to go and put the very first Buc-ee's as well as put just YouTube Buc-ee's in general and put it on my YouTube channel. Excuse me. So hopefully it will get a lot of views, but we'll see. And now the cat's done with me. So that's one big announcement. Also, my brother turns 25 on June 10th, which is the same day I pay off my car. So as of right now, the plan is, my brother just told me last night he wants to go all the way up to Newport, which is on the opposite side of the Ohio River, and we're going to go out for lunch somewhere. And I'm like, well, where would we eat at? My brother's like, oh, there's a lot of places. So we're going to do something like that, and then we're going to go over to the Newport Aquarium afterwards, and we're going to go walk around. So I did ask my brother if I could do a YouTube video that day, and he said yes, as long as you promise to stay at least 15 feet back. So during COVID, it was a 6-foot rule. Well, now it's a 15-foot rule. Oh my word. And I'm like, well, how do I know I'm going to be 15 feet back? Are you going to bring a measuring tape? He was like, no, use your best judgment. I mean, I'm respectful enough. I know he wants to spend time with his friends. I appreciate the fact that I'm even invited along. But I do really want to take this opportunity to YouTube. If you guys remember my Facebook post from a while ago, I had the opportunity to go to Newport and YouTube, but it didn't work out. But now I actually have the opportunity, and it's going to work out, and I am super excited about this. And that's why I decided to make this announcement. And I might as well just go ahead and say, so the last week of May, I am off on Wednesday, June. Well, I should say it's end of May and beginning of June, but anyhow, the first day of June, as well as the first Friday of June. So June the 1st and then June the 3rd. I'm off both of those days. As of right now, I'm planning on going to Kings Island on June 3rd again, since I haven't been in eons. And there hasn't been a lot of shifts available necessarily for me to pick up any more 6 days. I mean, every now and then I get those opportunities, but it seems like there's less and less of those. And I have been looking, because I'm always looking for the extra hours. But I'm also getting scheduled a lot too, which is nice. And I figured since, well, I haven't been to Kings Island since April 29th, literally. And I've literally worked 6 days a week almost the entire month, as insane as it is. Might as well go to Kings Island, see if I've lost enough weight to finally get on Orion, see if there's anything new to see at Kings Island. Supposedly, the Golden Celebration will have started by that point, so we'll have to go see if there's anything cool about that to go see. And go ride some of my other favorites. I'm sure it's going to be busy as crap at that point, but I'm going to definitely go YouTube. Maybe I can recruit some friends to go with me, but as of right now, I think, and more than likely, I'm going to be going by myself. I was laughing so hard on Monday, so my friend Kylie and her boyfriend are Kings Island Gold Pass holders as of this year, and they've been talking about how many times they've been going to Kings Island lately. They've been going more than my good friend Megan Martin, which that's crazy, to be honest. And of all the rides he had a hard time with, Kylie's boyfriend, it was the Bat. And I just started laughing because that's one of my favorites, if you don't know me well. And I rode that front row on Halloween last year. And yeah, I felt a little sick afterwards, but about 5 minutes later, I was like, okay, I'm good. I don't know. I mean, he won't even ride Orion. I'm like, dude, I've been waiting 2 years for that. Are you kidding me? I can't wait to do it. I mean, I'll take off my glasses to make sure I don't lose them or anything. It's not that I don't want to see what's coming, because I can still see it without my glasses on. I would say the hardest thing to me about walking around a theme park versus sitting here in the house is the fact that it just gets so hot outside or whatnot. But at least I was smart, and that very day I went and got the souvenir bottle or whatever, so I could keep myself hydrated throughout the day, because it's just really hard to keep going getting little tiny cups. And I was like, yeah, this can't keep happening. I better get a cup. And I had Danny's discount too, so that really made a difference. All right, well, I'm going to get into today's discussion topic. It is now 9:15, so I have 15 more minutes left, but let's see if I can do it in less than that, so I can try to get this uploaded to YouTube pretty quickly. Well, I figured I would talk to you guys about how I was, well, let me start over. I figured I would talk to you guys about what going to high school classes were like starting at Candlelight, because I gave you guys an idea of what classes were like at Oasis, but now I want to tell you guys what classes were like at Candlelight. Well, there was one class that I did have, and I spent more time in that classroom later on in high school, because that's what they called our homeroom, which is basically the main room you either started in at the end of the day and you ended in at the end of the day, or basically just the very first teacher you reported to every single time, if that makes any sense. So, whenever I got to high school, the majority of my time there, it was always to BJ. So, he was always in charge of attendance. He was always in charge of, like, how we started out our day. He always did the Pledge of Allegiance with us and everything. Of course, I grew up going to a Christian school, so we always, did I pledge allegiance to the flag and all that. And then I pledge allegiance to the Christian flag, and then I pledge allegiance to the Bible. So we went through all three. Now, I'm aware that most public schools just do the American flag, and I'm completely aware that these days it sounds like this: I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'm aware they have completely omitted under God, which is completely disgusting, but at the same time, I'm not going to get into that because I don't want to step on any toes. And I'm sure there's going to be somebody that's going to call me out for saying, oh, dare you say it's completely disgusting. But then there might be people who go, oh, thank you so much for saying that. So, it is what it is. But that is what I grew up with. And yes, of course, we always added on one nation under God. We were a Christian school, more specifically a Methodist school. But anyhow, we always had spelling tests every Friday, because Mondays we would basically get our spelling and vocabulary for the week. So our job was to go home and rewrite the spelling words twice, and then we had to write down the definition to a bunch of vocabulary words, and then we had to turn them in the very next day. And then Friday, we had a spelling test, so he would basically tell us exactly what the word was, and then we had to write it down. And then the vocabulary portion, we had the word listed, and then we had to write down what the definition was without having a cheat sheet to look and see what the definition was. We would have at that point obviously had to already have done the homework, otherwise you're going to go so yeah, that class was always really interesting in that sense. We didn't necessarily have a Bible class per se. If I remember correctly, I don't remember. Science, it changed the entire time I was there. When I first started in 10th grade, I got to retake biology, if I'm not mistaken. I'm very sure. And I'm very happy that I did, because I bombed it in the 9th grade. And then I found out they were doing it again in 10th grade. And I was like, thank you, God, thank you. And of all things, I got to redo. So in 9th grade, if I didn't tell you guys, which is kind of stupid on my part, we had to create a cell. Basically, we could make any animal cell from, or sorry, create an animal cell, or make an animal cell, I should say, from basically any material we wanted. And I had tried to do it before from Play-Doh, I believe, and it didn't work out. I did a terrible job. Well, I did it again in 10th grade. And this time I tried doing it as styrofoam. Well, to cut to, to make a long story short, whatever, let's just say that the teacher liked it so much that she asked me if she could keep it so she could show future students who were taking her class this is exactly how a cell should look. My former student, David Dumber, made this cell. And I think of myself, oh my. I was like, I mean, I appreciate it. I told my dad about that. He just started bursting out in laughter. And he always liked to tell me about the one time that he waited until the last minute to do an assignment, and then the teacher ended up liking it so much. The teacher ended up keeping it as a future example for future students. And the biggest difference between that story and my story is I actually took my time on mine. He waited until the last minute. So, I don't know what to say about that. But anyhow, that was biology. And then math. Well, I took various math courses, of course, during the time I was there. I would say the hardest math project I ever took, which is later on down the road, and that was a geometry class, and we had to basically construct a town based on geometrical dimensions or whatnot. But I'll get more into that later on. But if I remember correctly, the biggest reason why I did so well on math to begin with is the teacher said up front that he does not grade on accuracy, basically whether you did it right or not. He just looks to see if it was done. Excuse me. Okay, sorry. I was distracted by something. So, anyhow, he more or less just kind of looked to see, okay, did you do it? And then he would just give you automatic 100 for it. I always at least did my best, but that doesn't mean I did it right or not. I didn't honestly know what I was doing half the time, so I was kind of like, like, I hope I'm doing this right. I mean, my brain wasn't completely there back then. I feel like I could probably do better now, but what do I know? So, yeah, that was math. PE was not exactly my forte. Mondays were the worst because Mondays could be anything. It could be running the mile around the school. It could be going down to the high school gym, which was basically our garage. That's actually how a student broke my toe. Well, not really. He broke my toenail. Yeah, he dropped a 10-pound weight on it. So, until I get to heaven, I live with a permanently damaged nail. But once I get to heaven, I'll have a brand new body and a brand new toenail. So, yay! I mean, my doctor tried to fix it, but, you know, a doctor can only do so much. I mean, he's only human. God is the ultimate doctor. So that's how I try, and you can see how I try to incorporate God into my high school days YouTube playlist. And also, Mondays were a great day. We just worked out in the gym, especially once we removed all the pews, which was later on in the years. We started doing sit-ups, push-ups. Oh, we went all the way. We were doing like a whole bunch. And I was just like, oh my. Like, how many like push-ups or sit-ups can we do in just one morning? And then on top of that, I'm already biking to school and I'm biking home. So I was getting tons of exercise, so I dreaded going to school Mondays. Like, Mondays were Back then, we're just that one day of the week. Can I just skip Monday and go right to Tuesday? No, later on the week was kind of nice because we would go play ultimate frisbee down the park. We would go and play the play park. We were so stinking immature back in high school. When we were down at the play park, we used to, and I've been doing this since middle school. We would see how high we could swing on the swings, and then we just jump from it. And if I fell and hurt myself, oh well, life moves on. And then sometimes we would just start yelling out random words as loud as we possibly could, and I'm not even going to repeat it because it's stupid and immature. Until the point where I start losing my voice over it. And then people look at me, especially on the other side of the camera, and they're like, what is wrong with you? I was 18 at the time. What do you want? Even 19. I was young. I didn't care. I still think that's funny. And I'm 28 now. It's just funny to think that I used to do that kind of stuff back then. But hopefully I can make some of you guys laugh. That's just my goal right now. I am running out of time, unfortunately. There are other things I would like to talk about, but there's just so much to talk about. Dodgeball was always my favorite in high school because we were fair, but we always had fun. It's not like middle school dodgeball where nobody's fair at all. But high school dodgeball, I actually enjoyed it. And it was always interesting seeing some of the students that really didn't know what they were doing. But I appreciate the fact that everybody was trying so hard to still try to be fair. And I always appreciated my English teacher, who was also a PE teacher back then. And he was always trying so hard to get the students that aren't trying that hard to play harder, try harder. And every time they got knocked out, he was always so encouraging. And that's why I enjoyed PE so much. So, I mean, it wasn't my forte in the sense that I wasn't great at it, but at the same time, it doesn't mean I didn't enjoy it. I definitely would say it was one of my favorite courses because we spent so much time outside. Oh yeah, one time I was just making an average trip out to the play park, and this black racer decided to slow there right in front of me, and I kind of stopped right in my tracks. I'm like, well, I got something that you don't see every day. No, I'm just kidding. Actually, you do. At least in Florida. So the next time I talk to you guys, I'm going to tell you guys more about, well, I should say, I'm going to tell you guys kind of what I did after school on Wednesdays. I figured you guys would be interested to hear how I served in the community on Wednesdays, and also how I was already familiar with it prior to that. And also, I figured that I would take that opportunity to maybe give you guys an idea of what I'm going to talk about next time as well. And of course, whenever I do my high school days, I always try to do some kind of announcement and just kind of give you guys an idea of what's been going on in my life since we talked recently. I would rather do it then than try to do it during one of my Rise and Fall YouTube series, which is when I really just want to focus on that YouTube video specifically. So that's why I tried to jump right into it. Anyways, guys, it is now 9:29, so I will see you guys in the next vlog. And always remember, you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. Have a great day. Peace out.